Right, so we're going deep today on something I really love.
Oh, yeah.
Multi-syllable rhymes in hip-hop.
Nice.
We're going to be going way past just like basic cat and hat rhymes.
Right.
More like my cat and hi-hat.
Exactly.
Maybe looking at the Rapper's Handbook.
Great book.
It really gets into how to write these rhymes.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how these rhymes went from,
Yeah.
like a rare thing you'd hear every now and then to being like,
Right.
basically, if you're a good rapper,
You gotta
know how to do this.
you gotta have the skills to pull it off.
And the book actually has this quote from Bun B.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like really proud
Yeah.
to be one of the first guys to end bars with multi-syllable rhymes.
Back then, that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
A whole new way to think about rhyming.
And it's not like he was just like shoving in extra syllables. Like he rhymed curb your enthusiasm
Oh, wow.
in a multi.
That's pretty impressive.
So it's complex, but it's also
funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Multis can add so much personality
Yeah.
to your lyrics.
And speaking of personality,
Yeah.
we got to talk about Ludacris.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, delivery is perfect for multis.
It's like he was made for them.
Right.
The way he slows down at the end of lines, like it gives those rhymes room to breathe.
Yeah.
Like in #1 spot.
Oh, yeah.
He says, I'm never going nowhere, so don't try me. My music sticks in fans' veins like an IV.
Try me IV.
Classic Luda.
If he had just rhymed me with V,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have had the same impact.
It wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
It adds this whole other level
Yeah,
of sophistication.
It's like musical.
Yeah.
So it's more than just...
It's not just showing off.
Yeah.
It's about making the music better.
It's artistic.
Exactly. It shows skill.
Yeah.
Like you put in the work
Yeah.
to make these rhyme.
To craft these.
Yeah.
So how do we learn to do it?
Well, the book actually breaks it down.
Okay.
Like step by step. They use this example line, the elite force, like Army Rangers and Navy SEALs.
Okay, so where do we go from there?
So they show you how to find multi-rhymes for Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
You list out all the rhymes you can think of
Okay.
for both of those words.
Gotcha.
And then you got to like mix and match and see
yeah.
what works.
So they came up with a few like baby meals,
Mm.
wavy eels,
Yeah.
lady squeals.
And it goes on and on.
Okay.
Gravy feels.
Yeah.
Weighty whales.
Yeah.
The point is you got to find combinations.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that sound good.
Yeah.
And that fit the meaning of what you're trying to say.
So like they use lady squeals to make this whole new line.
Right.
I kick it operatic till that fat lady squeals.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
But then they take it even further.
Okay.
They give you lines like, your lyrics are stuffing, so now I know how gravy feels.
Okay.
Or I'll call you Gerber because you're spitting up some baby meals.
Okay. I see. So you can make
You can make a whole bunch of lines.
a whole chant.
All connected by these multis.
That's pretty cool. And they say you can try this at home.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like practice it.
Like take a phrase or like a celebrity name
So,
and just start brainstorming multis.
so finding the rhymes is one thing.
Right.
But how do rappers make it sound so smooth?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
It's all about understanding these things called prominent and silent syllables.
Oh boy, this sounds technical.
It's kind of like poetry, like,
Yeah.
iambic pentameter and stuff.
Yeah.
But for rap,
Okay, how does that work?
so you got to know which syllables are stressed
Okay.
when you say a word.
Okay.
Those are your prominent syllables.
Okay.
And the ones you don't stress are silent syllables.
Gotcha.
And knowing the difference is how you make those rhymes flow.
So how do you know which ones are which?
They use this example. Behind my house is the most twisted of trees.
Okay.
And they mark the stressed syllables with a slash and the unstressed ones with a dash. So it looks like this dash slash dash slash dash dash slash dash dash slash.
Okay.
The trick is you only rhyme the prominent syllables.
So twisted of trees.
Becomes slash twist slash trees slash.
Got it. So what about the of?
That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
Because it's unstressed, you don't have to rhyme it.
That's-
That gives you so much more freedom.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you don't have to match every single syllable.
Right.
And they give you some examples of multi-rhymes for that. Like,
Okay.
mystical knee, listen to me.
Yeah.
Mess with the bees.
I see.
They all land on those stressed syllables.
Okay, so can you give me like a full line?
Yeah, they came up with this one. Behind my house is the most twisted of trees. I always ignore the birds, but I mess with the bees.
Add of and with of don't have to rhyme.
Exactly. And they even mention Eminem does this in My
Right.
Band by D12.
Yeah.
He says, I just think you're trying to steal the light from me.
So he rhymes light and me.
But no,
Wow. There's a lot of thought that goes into this.
there's a whole strategy to it.
It's like next level rapping.
And that's what makes the best rappers so good.
Yeah.
They understand all this stuff.
They know the rules.
And it makes their rhymes so captivating.
It's a whole different level.
Which brings us to the big question.
Uh-oh.
Who's the king of Maltus?
I knew we were getting to this.
The battle for the crown.
Who are the contenders?
Well, one name you always hear is Eminem.
Of course.
He's like the master of complex rhymes.
I mean, he's known for it.
Just look at the real Slim Shady.
Oh, yeah.
He says, but Slim, what if you win? Wouldn't it be weird? Why? So you guys could just lie to get me here. So you could sit me here next to Britney Spears. I think Christina Aguilera better switch me chairs.
Well, break that down for me.
Okay, so he's hitting those prominent rhymes.
Okay.
Like weird Spears chairs.
Right, yeah.
But he's also weaving in these unstressed rhymes.
Okay.
Be me.
So, I didn't even realize that.
It's subtle, but it makes the flow so intricate.
So he's rhyming on like multiple levels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not even his most complex verse.
Oh, really?
You remember Lose Yourself?
Of course. His palms are sweaty knees, weak arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater, already mom spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting.
That whole verse is like a lyrical maze.
It's crazy how many rhymes he fits in there.
He's mixing multis and in rhymes.
Yeah.
It's like he's weaving a tapestry of sound.
That's a good way to put it.
But before we give Eminem the crown,
Okay.
we got to talk about another contender.
Okay.
Someone who might even be better than Eminem
Really?
when it comes to pure multisyllable density.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Papoose.
Papoose.
This guy's an underground legend.
I've heard the name.
He's known for pushing the limits of
Okay.
what you can do with lyrics.
And he's got a lot of multis.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
That's-
Like in his verse from Thug Connection. It's like a nonstop barrage of
Really? How many were we talking?
like 30 in a row.
30.
Yeah.
Even for Eminem, that's a lot.
It was pushing.
I can't even imagine.
It's like a lyrical marathon.
So some people might think it's too much.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
For others, it's like the ultimate display of skill.
Yeah.
It depends how you look at it.
So we've got Eminem, the master weaver.
And Papoose, the lyrical machine gun.
This is getting intense.
It's a battle for the ages.
Who will be crowned the king?
That's a question we'll have to keep exploring.
Okay, so we've got this battle for king of multis.
Right. Eminem versus Papoose.
But the book actually asks,
Oh, yeah.
is there such a thing as too many multis?
It's a good question.
Like, at what point is it just showing off
Right.
and not actually making good music?
Like that Papoose verse.
The one from Thug Connection?
Yeah, with 30 multis in a row.
Is that even good?
I mean, it's definitely impressive,
Right.
but is it clear?
Yeah. Does it make sense?
Like, does the meaning get lost?
It's like anything else.
Yeah, too much of a good thing.
Can be bad,
Right.
even if it's multi-syllable rhymes.
And I think that's where Eminem is really good.
Yeah.
He finds that balance
Okay.
between being complex and still making sense.
The book was saying.
Oh, yeah.
His Lose Yourself verse is a good example.
Yeah, he's got tons of multis in there.
Yeah.
They all serve the story.
Right. It's not just random.
It's like he's using the multis to make the emotion stronger.
It's not just about showing off.
Right. It's about making the music better.
So these rhymes actually change how we hear the music.
They totally do.
Okay, how?
They add all these layers of rhythm
Oh, yeah.
and complexity. It's
Yeah.
like they make the words themselves sound better.
Like the difference between reading a poem in your head
Yeah,
and hearing someone read it out loud.
exactly.
It's a performance.
Now with multis, it's even more important how the rapper delivers the lines.
Yeah, their emphasis, their pause,
Oh, they flow with the beat.
Right.
It all matters.
and trying to keep up with all the rhymes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a workout for your brain.
It's like a puzzle,
Yeah,
but that's part of the fun.
you got to figure it out.
Unravel the layers.
And the more you
The
listen,
more you discover.
I like that. So back to our original question.
Yeah.
Why are we so drawn to these rhymes?
What makes them so
We're
special?
not easy to do.
Right. It takes work to write them.
So why bother?
I think it's because they combine skill and creativity.
Okay.
It's like pushing the limits of language,
Right.
finding new ways to connect sounds.
It's like a tightrope walk
Yeah.
between complexity and clarity.
And when it works,
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
it elevates the music.
It makes rap a true art form.
Okay, so wrapping up this part,
Yeah.
what should our listeners be listening for?
Listen for the balance
Okay,
between skill and emotion,
okay,
between complexity and making sense,
right.
between showing off and saying something real.
Because multis are a tool,
Right.
and you can use them in different ways.
You can use them to impress people,
Yeah.
to show off how good you are. You can
Right.
use them to tell a story, to connect with people.
Right. To make a point.
It's up to the rapper.
And as a listener,
Yeah.
you got to pay attention
Engage with the music.
and decide what you like.
That's the beauty of hip-hop.
It's a conversation
Yeah.
between the rapper and the listener.
An exploration of sound and meaning.
And multi-syllable rhymes are part of that.
So keep your ears open
Stay engaged.
and let those rhymes blow your mind.
Okay, so let's move past this king of multis debate
Okay.
and look at how these rhymes work in a specific verse.
Sounds good.
We're going to dissect one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Eminem's second verse from Business.
That's a classic.
It's like a master class in
It's
multis.
so complex.
Right, let's break it down. Okay, so let's get into this Business verse. I've always loved this one.
It's a beast.
Yeah. But I want to really understand what makes it so special.
It's dense. Man,
Ugh.
even the first few lines are packed with multi-sig.
Yeah.
Okay.
He comes right out the gate. Yo, I got a list. Here's the order of my hits.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call me Your Honor in this bitch. Fuck a beat. I go a cappella in this bitch. Some of these rappers don't know how to act in this bitch.
Order of my hits, Your Honor, in this bitch.
Right off the bat.
He's not messing around.
No, he's establishing his dominance.
And that repetition of in this bitch.
It adds to that aggression.
Like he's making a statement.
Yeah, he's in control.
So he's not just throwing in multis randomly.
No, it's all part of the flow.
And the story he's telling.
Exactly.
Okay, so what happens next?
He keeps the energy up. So I'm going to show these motherfuckers how to rap again. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes Revit. He choked. He's so mad, but he won't give up that easy. No.
Hold on. Oh, there goes gravity. He choked. He's so mad, but he won't.
A whole chain of multis.
Yeah, and they all connect.
They're not just random words.
Right.
There's meaning in those connections.
Okay, like what?
Oh, there goes gravity.
It's like he's saying his rhymes are so good they defy physics.
And then he choked. He's so mad, but he won't.
Yeah, he's showing his resilience.
It's like he's facing a challenge.
But he's not giving up.
It's like he's rapping about rapping.
Right, like he's reflecting on his own process.
And his delivery's so intense.
Yeah, he's hitting those syllables hard.
You can hear the passion in his voice.
It's captivating.
All right, I need to hear more. Give me more.
Okay, here we go. He won't have it. He knows his whole back's to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that. But he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo.
There's so much going on in those lines.
Yeah, he's packing in so much meaning.
You got the boxing imagery.
With back to the ropes.
Right. And then he's vulnerable.
He's broke.
Yeah, but then there's that determination.
It back to lab again.
It's like a whole story in just a few lines.
And the multis are driving that story.
Okay, how?
Backs to these ropes, connects to, he knows that, but he's broke.
Okay.
Which leads to back to this mobile home.
Right.
And then finally back to the lab again.
It's all linked together.
So it's like a chain reaction.
He's using the multis to create this momentum,
Not just in the flow.
but in the story itself.
Right.
This is incredible.
It's masterful.
So it's not just about the rhymes themselves,
No, it's the words he chooses.
the images he creates.
He's using language to make you feel something.
This verse is like the perfect example.
Of combining skill with emotion.
It's not just about showing off.
It's about saying something real.
That's what makes Eminem so good.
Yeah, he can be super complex.
But you never forget he's a human being.
With real emotions.
Okay, so after all that,
Yeah.
what's the big takeaway about this verse?
For me, it shows how Multis can make rap into art.
It's not just music,
It's pushing the limit
of language, of flow.
of meaning.
It's all connected.
And it reminds us that rap can be really deep.
Yeah, it's more than just words and beats.
It can be nuanced.
It can be expressive
They can make you think.
and feel.
So as we wrap up this whole deep dive,
Yeah.
think about this.
All right.
Are multis making hip-hop better?
Or are they sometimes distracting?
Like, is all this focus on technique
Yeah,
taking away from the heart of the music?
that's a good question to think about.
Keep exploring
Yeah, keep listening.
and decide for yourself. Hey everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be breaking down some of the techniques that make rap lyrics so damn catchy. And for this one, we'll be pulling most of our insights from the Rapper's Handbook.
It's a great book.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anyone who's interested in rap, whether you're, an aspiring rapper yourself or just a fan who wants to understand like what makes these artists so good, this book has something for everyone.
Definitely. And even for folks who just want to become better listeners, like Learning how to pay attention to those little details that make the difference between a good rhyme and a truly great one, this deep dive should help you out.
Totally. All right, so the book starts off talking about slant rhyme, which I guess is kind of a fancy way of saying near rhymes, like words that are close but not exact matches. But like, is that even allowed?
Oh, yeah. It's totally legit and actually really important in rap. You see, using perfect rhymes all the time can get kind of predictable, right?
Yeah, like too much of a good thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly. Slant rhymes, though, they shake things up a bit, you know?
Yeah.
They keep the listener on their toes, and it just sounds more natural, like a real conversation.
Hmm. Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal, but can you give me an example? Like, how does this actually work in a song?
Well, the book actually uses Tupac's changes to illustrate this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's these lines where he rhymes faces with races, which is perfect. But then he throws in changes, which is a slant rhyme with faces. You see how that works?
Whoa, yeah. It's subtle, but it makes a huge difference. Like, it adds this extra layer without sounding forced.
Exactly. Tupac was a master of that, creating that conversational flow.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that song now with new ears.
You should. It's a
Yeah.
classic for a reason.
So what's next? What other tricks of the trade do we need to know about?
Well, let's talk about rhyme scheme. This is like the blueprint for how the rhymes are laid out in a song or a verse.
Mhm.
It's something you might not always notice consciously, but it has a huge impact on how those lyrics hit you.
Right. The book actually quotes Sage Francis talking about this. He says something like how rhyme can work on multiple levels even if you don't catch every little detail.
Totally. It's like subliminal messaging for your ears.
Love that. So how about a concrete example?
Okay, so one of the simplest and most effective rhyme schemes is the AABB pattern, where every other line rhymes. Like in The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You know that line, rats in the front room, roaches in the back. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far. It's so straightforward, but it creates this driving rhythm that just pulls you in.
Ah, yeah. That makes total sense. And it's easy to follow along with.
Yeah, definitely. But things can get a lot more complex than that.
Oh, I bet. Like when you start getting into more intricate rhyme patterns.
Right. And that's where the Rapper's Handbook introduces this really cool visual notation
Ooh,
system.
visual notation. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's like having X-ray vision for rhymes. They use Dead Prez's Hell Yeah as an example to show how all the rhymes are connected. It really helps you see the bigger picture.
I'm gonna have to check that out. But before we get too deep into visuals, let's talk about something that always blows my mind. In rhyme. You know when rappers rhyme words within the same line?
Oh, yeah. Internal rhyme, Bun B calls it outskilling your opponent. Uh-huh. And he's right. It takes serious skill to pack that many rhymes into a single line. It's like a lyrical Rubik's Cube.
The book actually starts with this simple two-line example. Moving quick, like a pack of wolves hunting, telling all of these false haters to stop frontin', but then they add in some internal rhymes and it becomes moving fast, like a pack of wolves hunting, telling all of these fake haters to stop frontin', and it's like night and day.
Yeah, totally. Those little additions add so much punch to the lines.
It's like going from tapping a beat on a table to a full-blown drum solo.
Perfect analogy.
And things get even crazier when rappers start using in-rhymes to connect back to the previous line's rhyme. It's like this whole other level of complexity.
Oh, yeah. Like a rhyme echo. Black Thought does this in Next Movement with the lines, you round a mark. The whole state of things in the world about to change. Black rain falling from the sky looks strange. He's using slant rhyme with state and change, and then starts the next line with black rain connecting back to change with that ain sound.
My brain is melting. It's like he's playing 4D chess with language.
Yet he makes it sound effortless.
Yeah.
That's the mark of a true master.
I'm starting to feel like I need a rhyming dictionary just to keep up with these guys.
The best tool you have is your ears. Just pay attention to how those rhymes make you feel, how they create different rhythms and moods. And don't be afraid to rewind and listen again if you miss something. It's all part of the fun.
You're right. This is like a whole new way of listening to music.
Exactly. And we're just scratching the surface.
And it's amazing how these guys can make it sound so easy.
Right. Like it's just flowing out of them naturally.
Yeah. So is there anyone in particular that the Rapper's Handbook highlights as being like a master of these techniques?
Oh, for sure. They spent a good chunk of the book talking about this underground rapper from New York City named Akir.
Akir. I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's pretty under the radar, but the book describes him as like a true rhyme technician.
Like a rhyme scientist.
Haha, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They talk about his smooth delivery and how he packs his verses with these intricate internal rhymes.
So he's all about that in-rhyme game.
Yeah, but it's more than just that. He doesn't just throw in rhymes for the sake of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like every rhyme has a purpose. It's all part of the bigger picture.
So, like, he's telling a story with his rhymes.
Exactly. The book actually breaks down one of his tracks where he's rapping about Columbus's arrival in America.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty heavy topic.
Yeah, it is. But Akir manages to weave this really complex narrative using all these different rhyme techniques.
So it's not just about sounding cool, it's about conveying a message.
Right. He's using rhyme as a tool to enhance the storytelling.
I'm really starting to see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Oh, yeah. There's so much more to rap than meets the eye.
And ear.
Exactly. It's about the whole package. The words, the rhythm, the flow, the delivery, it all comes together to create this unique art form.
And you know, it's funny because before this deep dive, I kind of took all that for granted.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. But now I'm like, wow, there's so much thought and skill that goes into crafting these verses. It's really inspiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's really what we hope you take away from this, a
Yeah.
newfound appreciation for the artistry of rap.
Like, I used to just bob my head to the beat, but now I'm really listening to the lyrics.
And you're starting to hear those little details, the slant rhymes, the intricate rhyme schemes, the internal rhymes that make it so special.
Yeah, it's like I've been given this secret decoder ring for rap music.
I love that analogy. It's like you're unlocking a whole new level of understanding.
Totally. It's like I can appreciate rap on a whole other level now.
And that's just the beginning. The more you listen, the more you'll discover. There's always something new to learn.
It's true. And you know what? This whole deep dive has got me thinking maybe I should try my hand at writing some rhymes myself.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I probably won't be the next Eminem or anything, but it could be fun to play around with these techniques, you know?
I think that's a great idea. And hey, you never know. You might surprise yourself.
Yeah, that's true. But even if I'm terrible at it, at least now I can appreciate how hard it is to do it well.
Right. And that's half the battle. Just having that respect for the craft.
For sure. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens, but for now, I'm content with just being a more informed listener.
And that's a great place to be. Remember, it's all about the journey.
Well said. I'm feeling pretty inspired right now.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about learning about this stuff.
You know, it's like before this deep dive, I just kind of passively listened to rap, but now it's like I'm actively engaged with the music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I always love looking at paintings, but now I can actually appreciate the brushstrokes, like the technique behind it all.
Exactly. It's like you've gone from just seeing the surface to understanding the depth.
Yeah, and that depth is what makes rap so powerful. It's not just music. It's a way of telling stories, expressing emotions, commenting on society.
Right. It's a whole art form.
And rhyme is like the secret weapon, The thing that makes those words hit you in the gut.
It's like the spice that makes the dish pop.
I like that. But what would you say to someone who's maybe a little intimidated by all this? Like all these techniques and rhyme schemes and stuff?
Honestly,
Yeah.
just listen. Don't overthink it. Just let the music wash over you and pay attention to how it makes you feel.
Yeah. Like, don't get too caught up in trying to analyze every single rhyme.
Exactly. Just enjoy the ride.
It's like learning a new language, You don't start by memorizing the dictionary. You start by immersing yourself in the sounds.
I love that analogy. It's so true.
It's all about the experience.
And the beautiful thing about music is that it's subjective.
Right.
There's no right or wrong way to interpret it.
Right. It's about what it means to you.
Exactly. So just relax, listen, and let the music take you where it wants to go.
Man, this has been such a cool journey. I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too. And it's been a blast talking about it with you.
Yeah, likewise. I feel like I could talk about this stuff for hours.
Same here. But I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of rhyme.
It's been a pleasure.
Hopefully you've all learned something new and are feeling inspired to go out there and explore the amazing world of rap music.
And don't be afraid to experiment with your own rhymes. You never know what you might create.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, everyone. That's all for today's deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep it real, keep it rhyming, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
All right, let's jump into the world of freestyle rap. You shared the Rapper's Handbook with us, and it really does look like a goldmine. I mean, it's full of practical tips for mastering this art form, right?
It really is.
So today, our mission, if you choose to accept it, is to equip you, the listener, with the techniques and knowledge to not just understand freestyle rap, but to actually maybe even try it yourself.
That's the goal. It's crazy how many people think that freestyling is like some mystical talent. You're either born with it or you're not, right?
Right.
But this book breaks it down, and it really shows you the building blocks you can actually use to develop your own skills.
Okay. So then let's just unpack this. What is freestyle rap, or according to the rapper's handbook?
Well, it boils down to this. Improvising lyrics in real time. Straight from the dome, no pre-written verses allowed. It's all about spontaneous creation, thinking on your feet, weaving rhymes and rhythms together in the moment.
So it's almost like a mental high wire act, but with words. I'm curious, how does freestyle connect to rapping in general? Is it just a party trick?
Oh.
Or does it actually have deeper implications for developing, like, overall rap skills?
That's a great question. It's where it gets really interesting. The book argues that. Freestyling is actually the foundation. It's like the training ground for all of your rapping abilities. It hones your flow, your wordplay, your ability to connect ideas rapidly and create on the spot. Think of it like this. You wouldn't try to dunk a basketball before you learned how to dribble.
Right. So freestyling is like building up those core rapping muscles.
Yeah.
I really like this quote. It's from Wordsworth in the book. He says, "Think of what's important to the people around you and speak on it." Yeah, and that seems to connect freestyle to something bigger than just rhyming for the sake of rhyming.
I love that quote. It really highlights how freestyle can be a tool for authentic expression and audience engagement. It's about tapping into something real, something shared, and channeling it through rhyme and rhythm. It's like a conversation, but elevated to an art form.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, the book really dives into vocabulary's 10-step technique for learning to freestyle. And this seems like a really accessible roadmap for anyone to follow. Where do we even begin with that?
So the first step, and this is crucial, especially for beginners, is to start easy. It's all about giving yourself permission to be a beginner, to let go of perfectionism and just start flowing, even with like really simple words and rhythms. You don't have to sound like Eminem right out of the gate.
That's reassuring. Because I think my first quote-unquote freestyle involved a lot of gibberish and baby talk.
Well, funny you should say that, actually. The author actually shares their very first freestyle, which they came up with as a baby. I'm funny, I like bunnies, touch my tummy, mummy.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, it's a perfect illustration of how we all start somewhere. Even the most basic rhymes are a step in the right direction.
It's about embracing those humble beginnings.
Right.
So we've started easy. What's next?
Step 2 is keep flowing. And that means, basically, don't let the fear of messing up stop you. Mistakes and awkwardness are part of the process. And the key is to persevere. Keep those rhymes coming, even when you stumble.
How do you push through? Like, how do you push through those moments when your brain just freezes or you just spit out this really clunky rhyme?
Yeah, I know what you mean. The book offers some really cool techniques. One of them is to actually incorporate your mistakes into the next lines. Like, there's this hilarious example in the book. I drive you bananas, apples, and oranges. Ah, damn, nothing rhymes with oranges. To make it rhyme, I'll squeeze it into orange juice. Flows tighter than small undies. Yours are mad loose.
Wow, that's impressive. Turning a mistake into a punchline.
Right?
Are there any other strategies for those freestyle fumbles?
Another technique is to use fillers to buy yourself some thinking time. You know, like ideas classic. I grab the microphone. But the book cautions against relying on fillers too heavily as you develop your skills.
Yeah, I can see that. It would become a crutch.
Yeah.
It's like training wheels. Helpful at first,
Yeah.
but eventually you want to ride without them.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next level of freestyle wisdom here?
This is where we get to the heart of it. The core trick of freestyling. Step 3 is rhyme in your mind ahead of time. It's about training your brain to think of rhymes for the upcoming lines while you're still rapping the current line.
Wait, so it's like a mental juggling act.
Exactly. Imagine you're spitting a line like, I'm exhausted from doing summer reading. Oh, yeah. While you're saying that, your mind should be racing, right? Define rhymes for reading, like meaning, weeding, beating, sealing, even teething. You get the idea.
Yeah.
And then you steer your next line toward one of those pre-selected rhymes.
You're basically building this mental rhyme bank.
While you're rapping.
That's mind-blowing. It explains how rappers can string together these complex rhyme schemes so effortlessly. What's the next step in this freestyle odyssey?
Step 4 might seem a little counterintuitive. It's right.
Oh.
Now you might be thinking, wait, isn't writing the opposite of freestyling?
Right.
But here's the key. Writing raps, even if you never perform them, right, strengthens those rhyming connections in your brain. It's like building up your rhyming vocabulary and muscle memory, making those rhymes more accessible when you're actually freestyling.
So it's not about spitting pre-written verses in a cipher, but it's about having those practice rhymes
Mhm.
and phrases at your disposal,
Mm.
ready to be woven into your freestyle flow.
Yes, exactly. It's like having a secret weapon in your lyrical arsenal.
The book even uses Eminem as an example, when he rhymes Ewoks, treetops, and Reeboks in a freestyle. You can bet he's played with those rhymes before and really solidified those connections in his brain.
Of course.
So writing is like the training montage
Mhm.
for your freestyle game.
Yeah, I like that.
Are there any other tips for using writing to actually enhance your freestyle skills?
Yeah, the book suggests writing emergency lines. These are multi-purpose rhymes that you can pull out if you get stuck. But it cautions against making them too obviously superior to your regular flow.
Right. You don't want to, like, Avi, sound like you're cheating.
Exactly.
But having a few safety nets can't hurt. Okay, what's next on this freestyle ladder?
Step 5 is all about proving that you're not just a studio rapper. You can improvise in any situation. It's rap about your surroundings.
Incorporating real-time observations
Yeah.
into your rhymes. That's a good way to kind of showcase those true freestyling skills and really connect with the audience, right?
Absolutely. The book suggests rapping about anything and everything you see. People, objects, actions, even something as mundane as like the soap you're using in the shower.
Let me try. Trying hard to get clean, maybe just a smidgen. Using Ghetto Dove soap, also known as Pigeon.
There you go. You're getting it.
I'm trying here.
And this is especially crucial in rap battles too. You got to be able to incorporate details about your opponent for those hard-hitting disses.
Right. Speaking of battles, the book mentioned Eminem's legendary clash with Lotto in 8 Mile when he disses Lotto's tight tank top. Looking like a cyclone hit you, tank top screaming, "Lotto, I don't fit you."
Classic. So staying observant
Yeah.
and incorporating those real-time details is key.
I like it. What's step 6 in this epic freestyle journey?
Step 6 is
Yeah.
where we start to separate the novices from the masters. It's include metaphors.
Oh, metaphors.
Yes.
Those figures of speech.
Yeah.
They compare to seemingly unrelated things. They add
Yeah.
a whole other layer of creativity and depth to rap lyrics.
I agree.
Yeah.
Metaphors can inject humor, unexpected connections, deeper meaning into your rhymes. The book gives a great example from Talib Kweli. He says, "We're like shot clocks, interstate cops, and blood clots. My point is, your flow gets stopped."
That's great.
Clever, right?
Yeah.
Insightful.
And then there's Kanye's line, "Ooh, girl, your breath is harsh. Cover your mouth up like you've got SARS." Using a metaphor for a witty diss.
Exactly. So incorporating metaphors is a sign of a skilled freestyle rapper.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready for step 7. Hit me with it.
All right, step 7 is all about connecting your rhymes to the world around you. Reference current events.
Oh, I like this one. It's like proving you're not just rapping in a vacuum. You're actually paying attention to what's happening out in the world. And if you can weave those events into your rhymes, it just shows a level of awareness and social commentary that can really elevate
Yeah.
your freestyle game.
Absolutely. Remember Kanye's line about SARS?
Yes.
A perfect example. The book also mentions other examples, like referencing Oprah's weight loss,
Yep.
or even gas prices.
Right. The more timely and relevant, the better.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. This is making me want to grab a microphone right now and just start rapping about the headlines. What's next on the freestyle checklist?
Step 8 takes us into the social heart of freestyle rap. Pass the mic like it's contagious.
Ah, the cipher.
Yes.
That legendary circle where rappers gather to trade rhymes, build off of each other's verses,
Mhm.
and create something truly magical in the moment.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
The book really emphasizes the importance of ciphers for developing your skills, pushing your boundaries, and just having fun with it.
That's great. There's cipher etiquette as well, right?
Ah.
Like, are there unspoken rules or guidelines
Yeah.
for how to behave in a cipher?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We'll dive deeper into those guidelines later, but for now, just know that it's all about respect, collaboration, and shared energy.
So like a vibe.
It is.
What are some of the key things
Yeah.
to keep in mind when participating in a cipher?
So the book highlights the importance of expanding on others' themes and rhymes, really listening to what they're saying, and building on it, and
Yeah.
passing the mic with a dedicated line, acknowledging the next rapper, like a verbal handshake.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like saying, I see you, I respect you, now go kill it on the mic.
Exactly.
Are there any examples
Hmm.
of like how rappers effectively riff off each other?
In a cipher.
Tons.
Here's one from the book. First rapper. Derek's life is tough. His job is rough. Plus, Suparna took all his dopest stuff for her apartment in NYC, because that's where she'd be, holding down a job at a publishing company.
I like it.
Second rapper. Yeah, my life is tough, but not that hard, because I spend all my nights watching SpongeBob. Asher, you the one with the job that sucks, asking people if they want more pepper on their halibut.
Uh-huh. I love it. It's really cool to see those back and forth exchanges can create something bigger than the sum of its parts. Where do we go from here?
Step 9 focuses on the strategic side of ciphering. Think ahead in ciphers.
Oh, okay. So it's not just about reacting in the moment, but using that space between verses to kind of plan your next lyrical attack.
Exactly. The book suggests using the break after your verse to not only listen and respond to what others are saying, but to also plan your next rhymes. It recommends writing, like 4 to 6 quality lines in advance, focusing on your surroundings, or responding to something specific in a friend's verse.
So you're going in with a little bit of a blueprint, but still leaving room for improvisation and spontaneity.
Precisely. The book gives a fun example. If your friend is wearing a Daffy Duck shirt, you could have a line ready like, I know you've had a tough year and had some crappy luck, but why you gotta wear a shirt with the face of Daffy Duck?
Uh-huh.
Simple but effective.
I like it. All right, bring on the final step.
Step 10 is the foundation of it all. Listen and practice.
This one feels like a mantra, not just for freestyle rap, but for life.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that mastery comes from consistent effort, dedication, and a willingness to learn from both your successes and failures.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
The book encourages you to rap anywhere, with anyone, and to really analyze the styles of pro rappers.
Right.
You know, to dissect their techniques, incorporate what you learn into your own flow. It's a journey, not a destination.
This deep dive has already given me so much to think about and experiment with. I'm feeling inspired.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away with all this freestyle wisdom, let's take a moment to unpack another crucial aspect of the cipher: etiquette. When we come back, we'll explore those unspoken rules that make for a respectful and enjoyable cipher experience.
Sounds good to me. So, jumping back into that cipher circle you mentioned, we've got the 10 steps down. But what about, navigating the social dynamics of a freestyle session? What are those unspoken rules that make for a smooth and enjoyable experience?
Yeah, feels like
Well,
even in a free-flowing improvisational art form,
Yeah.
like freestyle, but
Yeah.
still a need for some guidelines.
Right, that's
Like,
it,
how do you avoid stepping on toes or hogging the mic
Yeah.
or just generally being a cipher buzzkill?
Right. You hit the nail on the head. The Rapper's Handbook dedicates a whole section to Cipher Etiquette 101. And it's full of really valuable insights. It's like you can have all the lyrical skills in the world, but if you don't respect the cipher and the other rappers in it, it's not going to be a good experience
Yeah.
for anyone.
Yeah. It's about creating a space where everyone feels comfortable
Yeah.
expressing themselves,
Yeah.
pushing their boundaries, and learning from each other.
Exactly.
What are some of the key principles of cipher etiquette that the book emphasizes?
Well, first and foremost, it says don't give excuses. We've all been there. Right?
Oh, yeah?
You stumble over a rhyme, your mind goes blank, and that first instinct is to blame it on something, like a cold,
Mm-hmm.
the beat, whatever.
Right, yeah, like a defense mechanism
Primarily.
to protect your ego.
Exactly.
But I can see how. That would get old.
Yeah. In a cipher setting, the book stresses the importance of owning your mistakes, acknowledging them, and moving on. Everyone messes up, especially when they're starting out. It's all part of the learning process. Trying to, hide it or shift the blame just makes it more awkward for everyone.
So embrace the flubs, embrace the stumbles, the lyrical hiccups. It happens.
It's all part of the freestyle journey.
What else is in this cipher etiquette rule book?
Another gem
Yeah.
is help out your friends when they mess up.
Okay.
This one's all about fostering a supportive and collaborative environment. In the cipher, if you sense someone struggling to find a rhyme or their flow is getting derailed, jump in and help them
It's
out.
like a verbal assist.
Yes.
Instead of letting them crash and burn,
Yeah.
you swoop in with a rhyme or a phrase
Yeah.
that helps them regain their footing and
Exactly.
keep the flow going.
The book describes it as one of the classiest things you can do in a cipher. It's about being a good teammate, recognizing that everyone's there to support each other
Okay.
and create something dope together.
Yeah, I love that. It shifts the focus from competition to collaboration,
Totally.
creating a more welcoming and encouraging atmosphere for everyone.
Yes.
Okay. What other cipher sins should we avoid?
This one's a biggie. Don't hog the mic. We all know that person who just can't seem to let go. They're spitting endless verses while everyone else waits their turn.
The rhyme hog.
Yes.
Yeah, no one wants to be
Uh-huh.
stuck in a cipher with that person.
Exactly.
It kills the vibe, makes it feel less like a shared experience
Yeah.
and more like a solo performance.
The book emphasizes that. Ciphers are all about interaction, collaboration, and giving everyone a chance to shine. It's not about dominating the space with your lyrical prowess,
Yeah.
but about creating a dynamic flow where everyone contributes and feeds off each other's energy.
So being mindful of your time, passing the mic gracefully,
Yeah.
making space for others to contribute. That's essential cipher etiquette.
For sure.
What about the actual handoff? Is there a proper way to pass the mic?
Absolutely. Pass it with class is
Oh.
another key principle. It's about acknowledging the next rapper when you're done with your verse,
That's right.
whether it's a simple call out or a more elaborate handoff.
Right. It's like a symbolic gesture of respect and appreciation.
Yeah.
Like, I've had my moment. Now it's your turn to rock the mic.
Exactly.
Okay.
The book gives some cool examples of classy mic passes, like, now let me hand it to my man on the right so he can spark the mic.
Okay.
Or the classic Sugar Hill Gang line, now next on the mic is my man Hank. Now come on, Hank, sing that song.
I can hear the crowd going wild.
Right.
Those mic passes add so much style and energy to the cipher.
It does.
Okay. What about when you're not the one spitting rhymes? What's the etiquette for being a good listener in a cipher?
That's another crucial point. Listen and respond,
Yeah.
even when you're mentally preparing your next rhyme scheme. It's important to stay engaged with what others are saying. Show them you're listening and acknowledge their lyrical fire.
So give those verbal cues, the ohs, the
Mhm.
dams, the head nods of approval.
Yeah.
Let them know you're feeling their flow and appreciating their wordplay.
It creates a sense of community
Mm.
and shared energy in the cipher,
Yeah.
making it more than just a series of individual performances.
Right. Building a collective vibe
Yes.
where everyone's feeding off each other's energy
Yeah,
and pushing each other to new heights of lyrical creativity.
I love it.
Okay. Final rule of cipher etiquette laid on me.
This one's all about expanding the circle and welcoming new voices into the fold. Invite strangers into the circle.
I love this one. Ciphers should be inclusive spaces where anyone, regardless of their skill level or experience, can jump in and express themselves.
Absolutely. The book encourages you to invite new people to join the cipher, even if they seem hesitant or intimidated. You never know, you might discover the next rap superstar hiding in plain sight. And by opening up the circle, you're not only creating a more welcoming and diverse space, but you're also exposing yourself to new styles, perspectives, and flows that can push you out of your comfort zone and inspire your own creativity.
So cipher etiquette is all about creating a positive, supportive, and inclusive environment where everyone feels comfortable expressing themselves, learning from each other,
Yeah.
and pushing the boundaries of freestyle rap together.
Yes.
It's about building a community,
Yeah.
not just battling for lyrical supremacy.
Well said.
Now, before we move on, you mentioned that the Rapper's Handbook also includes a section on freestyle games. Tell me more about those.
These games offer a fun and low-pressure way to practice your freestyle skills. Outside of a formal cipher setting, they're great for honing your rhyming reflexes, expanding your vocabulary, and just having a good time with friends.
Okay, I'm sold. Let's do it. Let's dive into some of these freestyle games and see what lyrical gems we can unearth.
The first one is called The Circle of Rhymes, and it's as straightforward as it sounds. Someone starts by saying a word, and the next person has to come up with a rhyme for that word within a set time limit, usually 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. It's like a rhyming hot potato.
Exactly.
I can already feel the pressure building.
It goes around the circle until someone either repeats a rhyme or can't come up with one in time, and then they're out. Last one standing wins bragging rights and the satisfaction of knowing that their rhyme game is on point.
It sounds like a great way to sharpen those rhyming reflexes.
Yeah.
And expand your mental vocabulary.
Definitely.
Are there any solo variations of this game for those who prefer to practice their rhymes in solitude?
Absolutely. You can challenge yourself to come up with as many rhymes as possible for a given word within a minute. Set a timer, pick a word, and see how many rhyming gems you can unearth from the depths of your vocabulary.
I like it. It's
Yeah.
like a mental workout for your rhyming muscles.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the next freestyle game on our list?
Next up is the Circle of Lines, which takes the rhyming challenge
Yeah.
to the next level. Instead of just rhyming single words, each person has to spit a whole line that rhymes with the previous
Oh,
one.
wow. Okay, so it's like building a collaborative rap verse, one rhyme at a time.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun way to test your creativity and lyrical agility.
Yeah, exactly. The lines don't necessarily have to connect thematically, but it's definitely more impressive if they do. The book gives a cool example where the first line is, The police are too racist in this town. And the next person rhymes with, the police being brothers handing out beatdowns.
Powerful.
Right.
And poignant.
Yeah.
I can see how this game can not only sharpen your rhyming skills, but also encourage deeper thinking and social commentary.
It does.
Is there a solo version of this game as well?
You bet. You can challenge yourself to come up with as many rhyming lines as possible on a single theme, like love, loss, or the struggles of everyday life.
Wow.
It's a great way to explore different rhyme schemes, develop your lyrical flow, and delve into more complex thematic territory.
I'm adding this to my freestyle practice routine for sure.
You should.
Okay. What other lyrical games are in store for us?
Group raps is another fun and collaborative game where you alternate between rhyming and non-rhyming lines to create a verse together.
Okay, break that down for me. How does that work?
It's pretty simple. The first person starts with any line they want. The second person rhymes with that line. The third person continues the theme without rhyming, and so on. So it's a back and forth flow of rhymes and non-rhymes, creating a tapestry of lyrical textures and ideas.
I like it. It's a great way to practice.
Yeah.
Weaving rhymes and non-rhymes together seamlessly,
Yeah.
creating a more
Yeah.
dynamic and layered lyrical tapestry.
It is.
And it encourages teamwork and collaboration
Yeah,
and the ability to build off each other's ideas.
absolutely.
Okay.
Now this next game is for those who love a little randomness and internet serendipity. It's called Google I'm Feeling Lucky Freestyle Madness.
Ooh, this sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
So you'll need a computer with internet access, of course, and have
Yeah.
a beat playing in the background to set the vibe. One person acts as the operator and searches for random things on Google, clicking the I'm Feeling Lucky button each time.
So you're basically surfing the web roulette style, never knowing what's going to pop up
Yeah.
on the screen.
Exactly.
I love it.
And everyone else has to freestyle about whatever appears on the web page, whether it's a news article, a product description, a recipe, or a random image.
That sounds like a wild ride. It's the ultimate test of your freestyle adaptability,
Yes, it is.
forcing you to think on your feet and rhyme about the most unexpected topics.
Exactly.
What kind of search terms does the book suggest using?
It recommends going for variety and randomness. Things like stray dogs, lasagna, roller skates, India. The more unexpected, the better. You can also do this with image searches or even just by having someone shout out random topics.
This game sounds like a blast. It's a great way to push your creative boundaries, break out of your comfort zone, and discover hidden lyrical connections in the most mundane or bizarre subjects.
Exactly. And it reinforces the idea that freestyle rap can be about anything and everything. It's about finding the rhythm and rhyme in the everyday, the extraordinary, and everything in between.
So no matter where you are, what resources you have,
Oh.
or what mood you're in, there's always a way to practice your freestyle skills and have fun with it.
Absolutely.
These games sound like a fantastic way to break the ice at parties, liven up a hangout with friends, or just challenge yourself to think outside the lyrical box.
Totally.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the foundational techniques to cipher etiquette, and even some fun freestyle games to get those rhymes flowing.
It's been quite a journey. We've demystified the art of improvisation, explored the power of metaphors and current events, and delved into the social dynamics of the cipher.
But before we wrap up this deep dive into the world of freestyle rap, I want to circle back to that Wordsworth quote we talked about earlier. Think of what's important to the people around you and speak on it.
Yeah.
It makes me think about the deeper potential of freestyle. Beyond just impressing your friends or winning battles, it feels like freestyle can be more than just a display of lyrical dexterity. You know, it can be a tool for connection, expression, and even social commentary.
It is fascinating how freestyle can be both deeply personal, drawing on your own unique experiences and perspectives, but also universally relatable, right?
Yeah.
Tapping into shared human emotions and experiences. It's like a bridge between the individual and the collective.
The book talks about how freestyle battles can get pretty intense, with rappers going head-to-head, trying to outdo each other, with clever rhymes and cutting disses. But it also highlights how ciphers can be spaces of incredible creativity and community building, where rappers come together to share their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs.
Exactly. It's like this amazing paradox. You have this element of competition, this verbal sparring match, but it's also a form of artistic expression, collaboration, and social bonding. And when you add that layer of speaking to what's important to those around you, freestyle can become a powerful tool for social commentary, and even activism.
I'm starting to see how freestyle can be more than just entertainment. It could be a platform for raising awareness, challenging the status quo, and sparking meaningful conversations.
Absolutely. Think about rappers who use their platform
Yeah.
to address issues of race, inequality, or social justice. Freestyle can be a way to amplify those voices, to bring those issues to the forefront, and to inspire change.
Wow. That's a powerful thought. So it's not just about mastering techniques or winning battles. It's about finding your voice, connecting with others, and maybe even using your rhymes to make a difference in the world.
And transforming the cipher
Yeah.
into a platform for dialogue, reflection, and action.
Excellent.
And the beauty of freestyle is that it's accessible to everyone. You don't need fancy equipment or a record deal. All you need is your voice, your creativity, and the courage to express yourself.
This deep dive has definitely expanded my understanding of freestyle rap. It's made me realize that it's not just about clever wordplay and catchy rhymes.
Yeah.
It's about tapping into something deeper, something more meaningful, something that can connect us, challenge us, and inspire us to create positive change.
So, as you continue on your freestyle journey, remember that it's not just about mastering techniques or winning battles. It's about finding your own unique voice, connecting with others, and maybe even using your rhymes to make a difference in the world.
Well, what an inspiring note to end on. This deep dive has been a revelation, opening my eyes to the depth and potential of freestyle rap. I hope it's inspired you too, dear listener.
It all starts with that first step, embracing the imperfection, silencing that inner critic, and just letting those rhymes flow. Happy rhyming.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Welcome to this deep dive, and we're going to be looking at rapping multis. You know those crazy, intricate rhymes that rappers like Eminem and Papoose just weave into their verses? You know, the ones that make you hit rewind just to catch every syllable.
Yeah.
Well, you sent us a chapter
That's
from the Rapper's Handbook, all about multisyllabic rhyming,
That's right.
and we're going to break it down for you.
We're going to unpack how these masters of rhyme elevate their flow and lyrical prowess by taking rhyming beyond the basics. It's like the difference between writing a simple melody and composing a full orchestral arrangement.
Okay, so the chapter starts with a quick recap of basic rhyming, single-syllable words like cat and hat.
Right.
But then it jumps right into multi-syllable rhymes, multis for those in the know,
Yeah.
and explains how they add those extra layers of complexity.
What's really interesting is that mastering multis starts with something you probably learned in English class.
Okay.
Stressed and unstressed syllables.
Yeah.
Remember marking those up in poems. It turns out that's not just an academic exercise.
Right.
It's the foundation of this whole rhyming technique.
So it's like those little accent marks are actually secret rapper cheat codes.
Exactly.
That's cool.
The book uses the phrase, "Today is the first day of the rest of my life," as an example. Try saying it out loud.
Yeah.
You notice how certain syllables naturally get more emphasis.
Yeah.
Those are your stressed syllables.
Right.
While the quieter ones are unstressed.
I can hear that today is the first day of the rest of my life. It's like a rhythm is emerging.
That's exactly it. And the book lays out this multi-rule, which is basically rhyme the stressed, ignore the rest.
Okay.
The unstressed syllables can be different as long as those emphasized sounds connect.
So in the example, behind my house is the most twisted of trees.
Yeah.
We're focusing on house and trees.
Right.
And ignoring those little sounds in between.
Yes, it's about those prominent sounds creating the rhyme.
Okay.
It's why rhymes like mice in the cheese or lost in the breeze would work perfectly.
It's like building blocks. You're stacking those stressed syllables on top of each other.
I'm starting to see how this works, but what about rappers who take it to the next level?
Yeah.
The chapter mentions Eminem and how he sometimes even rhymes those unstressed syllables.
Right, yeah.
How does that work without sounding clunky?
Eminem is a master of flow, and a big part of that is his manipulation of those unstressed syllables. He bends the rules.
Right.
But it works because he has such an innate understanding of rhythm and how to use those subtle sounds to enhance the flow.
So it's like he's a master chef adding a secret ingredient to his recipe.
Exactly.
You wouldn't try it at home unless you really knew what you were doing.
Exactly. The book analyzes a line from his verse in D12's My Band.
Okay.
I just think you're trying to steal the light from me. Notice how he rhymes light and me perfectly.
Right.
But also manages to sneak in a rhyme with the unstressed from.
Wow.
He carries this through the following lines, creating this dense sonic web that's incredibly intricate. It's mind-blowing. Now I'm going to have to go back and listen to all his tracks with fresh ears,
Right.
trying to dissect those rhymes.
Absolutely.
But the chapter mentions that some rappers go even further, crafting these super long, multi-syllable chains.
Yeah.
Isn't that just showing off?
It can be, but it's also a testament to their lyrical skill and control of language.
Okay,
Think of it like a gymnast performing a complex routine.
right.
It's impressive from a technical standpoint, even if you don't always see it in mainstream music.
So it's more of an underground lyrical flexing kind of thing.
Often, yes. The book gives the example, always on point with words that cut sharp.
Okay.
See how they rhyme, words cut and sharp,
Duh.
ignoring that.
Right.
They then offer alternative phrases like nerds that aren't smart and burns the white tarp,
Yeah.
showing just how many possibilities exist within that structure.
Wait, nerds that aren't smart. That's hilarious. I never thought about rhyming like that.
It demonstrates how you can take a simple phrase and build it into a multi-syllable masterpiece. Like they create a whole line, always on point with words that cut sharp. I'm a paradox, like nerds that aren't smart.
Okay.
That's 4 syllables rhymed.
Okay, that's impressive. It makes you realize how much work goes into crafting these intricate verses.
Exactly, but it's important to remember that meaning shouldn't be sacrificed for the sake of rhyme.
Right.
It's a delicate balance.
Right. You don't want your lyrics to sound like a random word generator exploded.
Exactly. The next part of the chapter dives deep into one of Eminem's most iconic tracks, Lose Yourself,
Okay.
and how he uses multisyllabic rhyming to elevate the storytelling.
Okay, let's get into the hit me with those lyrics.
All right, get ready for this. Here are the lines. His palms are sweaty knees. Weak arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already, Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting. It's like a multisyllabic explosion.
Whoa. It's like every single word is part of the rhyme scheme.
There are 5 to 6 multis packed into just those 4 lines. And he repeats sounds too, like palms echoing in drop bombs, vomit, and even on his... And it's not just random, it emphasizes those feelings of nausea and anxiety. It adds to the whole atmosphere of the song.
And the way he connects keeps back to knees weak from the first line that's next level.
It creates this cyclical feeling like the pressure is building and building. It's a perfect example of how a rapper can use these complex techniques to tell a story and evoke emotions.
Yeah.
But now the chapter introduces us to a rapper who pushes this even further, Papoose.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him. He's known for those crazy long rhyme chains, right?
He's like the marathon runner of multisyllabic rhyming. The chapter points to his verse from Thug Connection, where he keeps the same rhyme going for 30 multis straight.
30, seriously. What does that even sound like?
Here's a taste. My lyrical tendencies equivalent to a critical felony, precise behind bars like a criminal's penalty pinnacle, definitely holds so much jewels in my miracle memory.
Yeah.
It's a lot to process, but the flow is undeniable.
I can see how some people might find it a bit much, but you can't deny the skill it takes to pull that off. It's like a lyrical Rubik's Cube.
Exactly. And ultimately, the chapter encourages experimentation. Finding your own balance and style is key. It's not about blindly imitating these masters. It's about understanding the tools and then using them to express your own voice.
Well, it's like learning the rules so you can break them creatively.
Exactly. The point is, even Mom's Spaghetti can become a lyrical masterpiece with the right approach to multisyllabic rhyming.
That's actually inspiring. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground on multis, but this chapter is just the tip of the iceberg, right? The Rapper's Handbook goes into all sorts of other lyrical techniques.
Oh, absolutely. Wordplay, metaphors, building a killer vocabulary. It's all in there.
Well, we've got more chapters from the Rapper's Handbook queued up for this deep dive.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the next one. It's all about wordplay, right?
Yes. We'll be dissecting how the best rappers use double meanings, puns, and clever word choices to add those extra layers of meaning and humor to their lyrics.
Ooh, wordplay is my jam. It's like solving a riddle while bobbing your head to a beat. I'm ready to unlock those secrets.
Perfect. It's like the book says, wordplay can make audiences ooh and ah, just like Shakespeare did back in the day.
Wait, Shakespeare was dropping wordplay.
Yeah.
I did not pay attention in English class.
He was a master of it.
Yeah.
But we're focusing on rap, and the book stresses how rappers combine wordplay with metaphors to create those truly unforgettable lines. Like this one from Punchline, what you get on, it's fam, you can't trust. Words and punch make rappers march like the third month.
Okay, I get it. He's playing on March, both as walking and the month. Simple but effective.
Exactly. That's wordplay in a nutshell, playing with the multiple meanings a single word can hold, whether it's slang, a dictionary definition, or even just a common phrase.
So how do we start incorporating more wordplay into our own lyrics? Does the book have any tips? So we've explored some heavy hitters, multis, metaphors, wordplay.
We have.
But I'm guessing there's even more to this rhyming game. Like, are there any secret techniques rappers use to add that extra polish and finesse?
Yeah, the Rapper's Handbook calls them peripheral techniques.
Okay.
Think of them like the spices that elevate a dish from good to phenomenal.
Okay, I'm all about those subtle flavor enhancers.
Uh,
Lay it on me. What are we talking about here?
One technique is alliteration, where you repeat the same sound at the beginning of words.
Right.
Like that tongue twister, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Right.
It creates this rhythmic and playful effect.
Alliteration. I remember that from elementary school.
Yeah.
But doesn't it get a bit much if you overuse it?
Totally. Too much alliteration can sound forced and cheesy.
Right.
It's about using it subtly as a little garnish, not the main course.
Subtlety is key. Does the book give any good examples of alliteration done right?
They point to Rakim as a master of this.
Okay.
In I Ain't No Joke, he raps, "Nobody press up and mess up the scene. I said I like to stand." He uses the S sound repeatedly, but it never feels overdone.
Right.
It just adds a little extra something to the flow.
I can hear it. It's like a little hidden current running through the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else?
Then there's rhyming sounds repeated, which is basically using the same rhyme sound throughout an entire verse. It's a real showcase of skill and creativity, like a rapper flexing their rhyming muscles.
Whoa. Keeping the same rhyme going for a whole verse, that sounds seriously challenging. Any examples of that?
The book breaks down a verse from Raekwon the Chef on the Outkast track, "Skew It" on the Bar Beeb.
Okay.
He uses the O sound in go throughout, creating this hypnotic effect, and he weaves in other rhymes too, including multisyllabic, so it's not just monotonous repetition.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. It sounds like he's building this intricate sonic landscape.
Exactly. And he even uses slant rhymes, words that sound similar but don't rhyme perfectly, to keep the flow interesting.
So it's not just about finding perfect rhymes, but also about exploring the nuances of sound and creating those unexpected combinations.
Right. And what's impressive is that Raekwon stays on topic. He's telling a story about growing weed and encountering the police, all while weaving this intricate web of sound.
That's the mark of a true master. Okay, so we've got alliteration and repeating sounds. What else is in this bag of tricks?
Well, the book also discusses repeating words, which might sound basic, but can be incredibly effective in the right hands.
Repeating words like saying the same word over and over again.
It sounds simple, but the book uses a verse from Consequence on Kanye West's Gone as an example. He uses the word gone 23 times in the verse.
23 times. I'm picturing a broken record right now. There's got to be more to it than that, right?
Of course, it's not random repetition. Consequence weaves gone into the fabric of the verse, using it for rhymes and internal rhymes. He even incorporates phrases that contain gone, like Calgon and Gone with the Wind.
So it's like he's playing a game with himself, finding creative ways to incorporate the same word without sounding repetitive.
Exactly. It adds layers of meaning and emphasis, hammering home the theme of absence and loss.
I never thought about using repetition like that, but I can see how it could be really powerful.
It's a reminder that even the simplest techniques can be elevated to an art form with the right approach. Now, the book also talks about a technique specific to text battles, visual wordplay.
Visual wordplay. Okay, now I'm really curious. How does that even work?
It's all about using the visual aspects of text to create wordplay, like playing with the shapes, colors, and arrangements of words to enhance the meaning.
So it's like taking advantage of the medium itself to add an extra layer of creativity.
Exactly. The book gives an example from an online battle forum where a rapper spells out his opponent's name using the first letter of each line in his verse.
Whoa, that's next level. It's like a hidden message within the lyrics themselves.
It's a cool way to add a visual element to the battle, but the book warns against overdoing it.
Right.
It can easily come across as corny or gimmicky.
Right, it's all about balance. Too much of a good thing can ruin the effect. Any final words of wisdom from the Rapper's Handbook?
Actually, there's a fun tip for freestyling rhyming nonsense words.
Rhyming words that don't even exist? What's the point of that?
It can help you keep the flow going when you're stuck, or just inject some humor into your freestyle. It's about giving yourself permission to be silly and break the rules.
So sometimes the best rhymes are the ones that make absolutely no sense. I like it.
Exactly. Sometimes embracing the absurd can lead to the most memorable moments. So there you have it. We've explored a whole arsenal of techniques from the Rapper's Handbook, from multisyllabic rhyming and metaphors to wordplay vocabulary and even rhyming nonsense words.
It's mind-blowing how much depth and complexity goes into crafting those rhymes that make us want to hit rewind and analyze every word.
It's a testament to the creativity and skill of these lyrical masters. And the best part is this is just the beginning. There's always more to learn, more to experiment with, and more to create. The Rapper's Handbook has given us a foundation, a set of tools, but it's up to each of us to use those tools to find our own voice and style.
I love that. So if a rapper can make Mom Spaghetti sound epic through multisyllabics,
Yeah.
what's stopping us from creating our own lyrical masterpiece?
Absolutely nothing. So keep writing, keep rhyming, and keep pushing those boundaries. Who knows, maybe one day your lyrics will be featured in a future edition of The Rapper's Handbook.
Now that's a goal worth striving for. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of rap lyrics. It's been an eye-opening and inspiring journey.
My pleasure. And remember, the best way to learn is to do so. Grab a pen, open up your notes app, and start crafting those rhymes. All right, let's jump right into this deep dive on rap lyricism. We're going to be looking at the RAP 2.1. And it's really fascinating how this book breaks down the craft.
Yeah, it really does,
Like, we're talking way more than just appreciating rap.
Yeah.
This is about thinking differently. Like, about the whole creative process itself.
Definitely.
The power of language, right? Yeah. And how to analyze really anything.
It is.
Like an expert.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And the book really dives right in, right from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It starts with this quote from Rakim. And he says, "I start to think, and then I sink into the paper like I was ink. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the line. I escape when I finish the rhyme." And it's really about that tension between being trapped by those lines and then freed by the rhyme.
Oh, that's powerful. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Like in your own work, ever felt that way? Like trapped by the rules or, whatever format you're working in?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
As an expert, I mean,
You hit those walls.
you hit those walls and then all of a sudden there's that breakthrough.
Yes.
And then you're free.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the book makes this really cool comparison, too. It's like they're saying analyzing rap lyrics, it's kind of like LeBron James.
Oh, interesting.
Preparing for a game. He doesn't just like show up.
Right.
He studies his opponents. He breaks down their strategies. It's bringing that level of focus and analysis to whatever you're doing.
To anything, yeah. Whether it's work or a hobby.
I love that. So let's bring that LeBron level focus, right, to the building blocks of rap.
Okay.
And I mean, it all starts with rhyme. It's the foundation.
Yeah, rhyme is definitely the foundation.
But it's more than just
But it can be so much more.
basic rhyming.
Right. The book really dives into this concept of like perfect rhyme versus slant rhyme.
Okay, break that down for me.
So perfect rhyme is really straightforward.
Yeah.
Like cat, hat, bat.
Yeah. Okay,
Happening.
a little predictable.
You know what's coming, right? But slant rhyme is where it gets really interesting.
Ooh.
It's like those almost rhymes, like heat and heart or love and fluff.
Okay, so slant rhyme, it's more creative.
It's way more creative and it gives you so much more flexibility.
I mean, do people even notice slant rhyme, though, like consciously?
That's the thing. It's subtle.
Oh.
It works on kind of like a subconscious level.
Huh.
It creates that little sense of surprise, maybe a little intrigue, and it can connect ideas that wouldn't work with a perfect rhyme. And the book actually calls slant rhyme a secret weapon.
Really?
Because it really gives rappers that freedom to play with language.
I like that, a secret weapon.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just about sounding clever, right? It's about creating a specific effect on the listener.
Exactly.
And the book, it talks about this.
Yeah.
Like, when do rappers use slant rhyme the most? Like, when is it absolutely essential?
Okay, well, they talk about two key situations.
Oh.
And the first is when a word simply has no perfect rhymes, like, the word orange. Nothing rhymes perfectly with that.
Right. It's like a loophole in the language almost.
It is. And the second situation is when rappers want to avoid those overused or cliched rhymes.
Oh, yeah.
Think of knowledge and college.
Yeah, that one needs to be retired.
We've heard that way too many times.
Yeah.
So, slant rhyme lets you kind of get away from that.
Are there any examples of how they use, like, slant rhyme in those situations?
Yeah, there are tons. So the book uses this line from Nas.
Okay.
And it's, "I got so many rhymes, I don't think I'm too sane. Life is parallel to hell, but I must maintain. And be prosperous, though we live dangerous. Cops could just arrest me, blaming us, we're held like hostages."
Whoa. That's a lot.
Yeah, but instead of forcing those tired rhymes, like maintain and sane,
Right.
he uses slant rhymes like prosperous and dangerous,
Oh,
claiming us and hostages.
I see. And it keeps it fresh.
Exactly. Keeps it fresh. Avoids those predictable rhyme schemes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something you could do in your everyday life.
Yeah. Wait, really? How?
Think about it. Are there any, overused phrases in your field that you could spice up
Yeah.
with a little slant rhyme?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so moving on.
Sure.
Rhyme scheme.
Rhyme scheme, yeah.
So it's not just about where the rhymes land, right? It's the overall structure.
Exactly. And RAP 2.1, it starts with this basic ABA notation.
Okay.
But they quickly point out that it's just too simplistic for most rap.
Yeah.
It's like trying to describe a whole symphony,
Mm-hmm.
with just a few notes.
Uh-huh. So how do they analyze rhyme scheme?
Well, they have this really cool visual notation system
Oh, wow.
where they use bold and italics and underlining to map out all the rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is it allows you to see the patterns, the layers, how the different rhymes, interact with each other.
So instead of just hearing it, you can actually visualize it.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
makes it so much easier to really analyze.
I like that visual approach.
Yeah.
It's like they're giving us X-ray vision for lyrics.
They are.
Okay, so rhyme scheme, check. What about internal rhyme? Those are always fun.
Yeah. The book calls them in rhymes.
In rhymes, okay. Do you have a good example?
Yeah. So they use this example.
Okay.
Imagine a line that says, moving quick like a pack of wolves hunting. Pretty basic, right?
Yeah.
But just by changing quick to fast, you get moving fast like a pack of wolves hunting.
Huh.
And that creates an in rhyme with pack.
Subtle,
Yeah.
but effective.
Very effective.
Does the book talk about why rappers use those?
Well, they quote Bun B, and he says he uses in rhymes when he's guesting on other rappers' tracks, to basically outskill them.
Oh, wow.
It's like showing off your lyrical skills without being too, in your face.
Yeah. It's like a little hidden message.
Yeah, for the, the attentive listener.
Right, the ones who are really paying attention.
Exactly.
All right, so speaking of showing off skills, what about multis?
Multis. Yeah, this is where it gets fun.
Multis. What is that?
Sounds like a multivitamin or something.
Uh-huh. That's a good way to think about it. So multis is short for multisyllabic rhyme.
Okay.
And it's like the difference between rhyming cat with hat and rhyming my cat with hi-hat.
Okay, so it's about extending the rhyme over multiple syllables.
Yeah.
That's next level.
It is. And the book gives this great example from Ludacris,
Oh, yeah.
who's like a master of multis.
Mm.
And he has this line, I'm never going nowhere, so don't try me. My music sticks in fans' veins like an IV.
Okay.
So instead of just rhyming me with V, he rhymes try me with IV.
Whoa.
No. That's slick.
Yeah. You can hear that emphasis on those multisyllabic rhymes.
Okay, but how is that different from an in rhyme? I mean, it seems like they're both playing with multiple syllables.
Yeah, it's a common misconception. And the book, they give some examples to really clarify it. So an in rhyme is like the Dizzy Rascal line, don't be silly, cover your millie.
Yeah.
Internal rhyme between silly and millie.
Oh, right.
But a multi would be like the line, punchlines that kill, my hits will bury ya.
Okay.
So it's the kill and bury ya that form the multisyllabic rhyme.
I see. The in rhyme is contained within a single line, and then the multi stretches across multiple words.
Exactly.
Okay. This is complex stuff. I mean, how do rappers come up with this?
Well, the RAP 2.1 breaks it down into a step-by-step guide.
Okay.
So they say you start with a line, then brainstorm rhymes for both words.
Both words.
Yep, including perfect and D-slant rhymes.
Wow.
And then you just combine them creatively to form new phrases.
So it's like a puzzle.
It is.
Finding those pieces that fit together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what they say? Avoid rhyme dictionaries.
Really? Why?
They say it's better to force yourself to generate the rhymes from scratch.
Interesting.
So you build up that mental agility and your intuition for language.
So it's not about shortcuts.
Right.
It's about really understanding how the words work together.
It is. And there's actually another layer to mastering multis.
Another one.
Yeah, and it's understanding the difference between prominent and silent syllables. So knowing which syllables are emphasized when you speak.
Oh, wow.
So, for example, in the phrase, today is the first day of the rest of my life, the stress syllables are to, first, day, rest, and life. you know?
I see.
It's like learning the code
Yeah.
of rhythm and emphasis.
This is amazing. Okay, so we've covered the building blocks of rhyme.
Yeah.
We've gone like deep into the intricacies of multis.
Right.
But there's one more element that ties it all together, right? Flow.
Flow. That's the magic. And that's what we'll be diving into next time.
All right, so flow. I feel like this is where the magic really happens in rap.
It is, yeah. It's what brings those technical elements to life, you know?
Yeah.
The rhymes, the schemes,
Right.
the in-rhymes, the multis.
Yeah.
The RFP 2.1, they describe flow as the way a rapper's words ride the beat.
So how the lyrics work with the music, yeah.
Exactly.
But it's got to be more than just that, right? I mean, anyone could just talk over a beat.
Right, right. It's not just about, talking over the beat. It's about finding that balance between words and music. Think of it like dancing.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like smooth and synchronized. Other times it's sharp, unexpected.
Yeah.
And a good rapper can adapt their flow
Right.
to different beats, different tempos, different moods, speed up, slow down,
Wow.
pause for effect, change the cadence.
It's like they're painting with their voice.
Yeah.
Using rhythm and intonation to create all that texture and depth.
That's a great way to put it.
So the book, they use this term pocket. Pocket.
To describe that like perfect flow state, right?
Yeah.
Where everything just locks in.
Yeah, when the rapper's words just like fit perfectly into the groove of the beat.
I've heard that, in the pocket.
Yeah.
It's like when everything clicks, and the music just takes over.
Exactly. And it makes sense, you said you love to dance, right? Isn't that kind of similar
Oh, yeah, for sure.
to being in the pocket? Like when you're dancing and everything just flows?
Definitely.
That feeling of being totally in sync with the rhythm, like your body is an instrument.
Yeah.
And in rap, it's the voice that becomes the instrument,
Yeah.
Responding to the beat.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay, but how do we analyze flow? It seems so subjective.
Well, the RFP 2.1, they give us some tools.
Okay.
So they recommend like breaking down a verse into smaller units. They call them microflows.
Microflows.
Yeah. And these are moments where there's a noticeable shift,
In the rhythm, in the cadence, in the delivery.
So instead of just looking at the whole verse, we're zooming in on
Yep.
those smaller sections.
Exactly. Like analyzing a painting,
Okay.
by looking at the individual brushstrokes.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how those little choices create the bigger picture.
Exactly.
So one technique that the book talks about is syncopation.
Syncopation, yeah, that's a good one. That's about playing with the rhythm,
Oh.
like disrupting expectations, creating those little surprises.
That reminds me of jazz.
Yeah. It's very similar.
You know how they have those unexpected accents
Uh-huh.
and offbeat rhythms?
Rappers use it in the same way. They might like stretch out a syllable or
Wow.
pause when you don't expect it or rush through a phrase. It keeps you on your toes.
Keeps it interesting.
Yeah. Do you have any like favorite rappers that use syncopation well?
Oh, so many. But Kendrick Lamar, he's amazing.
He's
The
incredible.
way he manipulates the rhythm
Yeah.
keeps you guessing.
Yeah, his flow is really something else.
So the book, it talks about how developing a strong flow, it takes time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not something that happens overnight.
Yeah, it's got to be practice, right?
Lots of practice.
Yeah.
And the RFP 2.1, they encourage like studying the flows of your favorite artists. Try to break them down, try to emulate them.
Okay.
But ultimately, it's about finding your own voice,
Mhm.
your own unique way of riding the beat. It's like learning the steps to a dance,
Yeah.
but then coming up with your own style, your own moves.
Exactly. And flow, I mean, it's not just rap, right? Think about public speaking
No, it's everywhere.
or storytelling or just conversation,
Uh-huh.
the way you use your voice, the pauses, the emphasis.
It all matters, yeah. We were talking about like how you're working on your presentation skills, right?
Yeah.
Do you see how understanding flow could help with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
The rhythm, the pacing.
It all affects how you connect with the audience.
Yeah.
So the RFP 2.1, they go super deep into the specifics of flow.
Okay.
Analyzing these iconic verses, they offer exercises and stuff. But for now, I think we should move on
Yeah, let's do it.
to the last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Content.
All right.
What makes a rap verse truly meaningful? What are
Yes.
the stories? What are the themes? What are the perspectives, that rappers are bringing to life through their words?
All right, so we've talked rhyme scheme, in rhymes, multis, flow. We've gone through all the mechanics of rap.
Yeah, we've really broken it all down.
Now let's get to the heart of it all.
Right to the core.
Content.
Yeah, because You know, we can analyze those technical parts all day long, but what really makes a rap song stick with you is the content,
Yeah.
the message, the story. The RIP 2.1, they say that content,
Huh.
it's what separates just a skilled rapper
Okay.
from a true artist.
Makes sense. Because anyone can, learn to rhyme.
Right,
But to create lyrics that are meaningful, that have depth,
Uh-huh.
it takes something more.
Yeah. I mean, you're really into poetry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's like the same there? Is content king in poetry too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's the same for any art form, really.
Yeah.
The technical skill is important, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the content that makes it, really resonate with people.
Like-
think about your favorite poems or songs, the ones you keep coming back to.
Mm-hmm.
It's often because they touch on something deeper, right?
They do. They tap into those like universal truths
Yeah,
about being human.
exactly. So how does the book even approach analyzing content?
Well, it's tricky,
Yeah.
but the RFP 2.1, they identify some key categories of content.
Oh.
One of the most common is braggadocio.
Ah, braggadocio, the art of boasting.
Yeah, the classic like rapper ego.
Right. But it's got to be more than just bragging.
Yeah, it is. The book, it talks about how braggadocio actually serves a purpose.
Oh.
It's about like self-affirmation.
Confidence, establishing your presence,
Yeah.
in the rap game. It's a way of saying, hey, I'm here, I'm talented, and you better recognize.
Yeah, it's like a way to claim your space.
Exactly. But it's got to be done right.
Yeah.
The best rappers, they use it with humor and self-awareness.
Right, like Nicki Minaj.
Yes, exactly.
She can be like so boastful, but it's always fun.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, not annoying.
Yeah, there's that balance between
Okay.
confidence and arrogance.
Okay, so braggadocio check.
Yeah.
What else?
Another big one is storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Rap has always been a powerful way to share personal stories,
Right.
or to offer social commentary.
I mean, think about songs like
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar's You
Yeah, that's a good one.
or Jay-Z's Song Cry. They're so raw
They are.
and emotional. You feel like you're right there.
Yeah. And the RP 2.1, they encourage studying the techniques of storytelling.
Really?
Yeah, like creating those compelling characters.
Building tension, delivering a satisfying resolution.
It's like a movie for your ears.
Exactly. And content, it's not always personal, right?
Sure.
Rap can also be about, social and political commentary.
Right, yeah.
Public Enemy, NWA.
Yeah.
More recently, Childish Gambino's This Is America.
Right.
They're using their platform to challenge the status quo.
That's so powerful.
It is.
Using your voice
Mm-hmm.
to shine a light on injustice and try to make a difference.
Exactly. And, you do a lot of work with social justice issues.
Yeah.
Do you see a connection between that and what you hear in conscious rap music?
Oh, for sure. I think music, especially rap,
Yeah.
it has this power to connect with people on a really deep level
It does.
and get them to think
Uh-huh.
about things in a different way.
Right, and to spark conversations and even inspire action.
Absolutely. So it's not just entertainment, it's a form of activism almost.
It is.
So we've got braggadocio, storytelling, social commentary,
Yeah, those are some of the big ones.
but I'm guessing it's not always that clear-cut, right?
No, not at all.
Like a song can have elements of all three.
Definitely.
Sure.
Uh-huh. And that's what makes analyzing content so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a formula, It's about understanding all those layers of meaning,
Yeah.
the interplay of different themes,
Yeah.
the overall message.
So to really appreciate rap, we have to go beyond just bobbing our heads to the beat.
You got to
We gotta listen to what's being said.
really listen.
And the book, it really encourages that
It does.
to engage with the lyrics on a deeper level, think critically about the messages,
Yeah.
appreciate all the artistry that
Yeah.
goes into it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this deep dive. It's not just about rap.
No.
It's about learning how to analyze anything with a more critical eye.
And you know what's so great?
What?
Content's always evolving, right?
Yeah.
It changes with the times,
Yeah.
with the voices, with the experiences of the artists.
There's always something new to think about.
Yeah, always.
Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for taking us on this journey through the world of rap lyricism.
My pleasure.
It's been really eye-opening.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so for everyone listening, next time you hear a rap song, don't just let it wash over you.
Well,
Really listen.
Yeah.
Pay attention to everything, the rhyme schemes,
Yeah.
the flow, the content.
all of it.
And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to write some of your own rhymes.
Maybe. That would be great.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about, right? Inspiring creativity and a deeper love of language.
absolutely. So keep listening, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive.
Hmm.
Today, we are going to be exploring something that I find super fascinating: the art of rhyming in rap.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, and we're using this really cool guidebook for aspiring rappers to kind of guide our exploration today. It's interesting.
It really is. It's almost like, getting this like behind the scenes look at how these incredible lyricists create their magic.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I guess the first thing that comes to mind for me is, what are the fundamental tools or techniques that rappers use? And this book kicks off by making this really interesting comparison between rappers and LeBron James.
Yeah, I love that.
It's not something I would have immediately put together, but the book argues that just like LeBron studies game footage
Yeah.
to, break down his opponent's moves and strategies, skilled rappers, they do the same thing, but with rhyme patterns and flow.
Exactly. I mean, you can see the parallel.
Yeah. So, like, what are some of the key things that they're analyzing then?
Well, the book breaks down a lot of really cool concepts. It starts with perfect rhyme and slant rhyme. Perfect rhyme, is pretty straightforward. Think cat, hat, bat.
Yeah.
The identical sounds at the end of words.
Okay. Yeah. Classic, right?
Yeah. But then it gets really interesting when it dives into the evolution of these techniques and how they've been used and adapted over time.
Okay. So tell me more about that. Like, how have these rhyming techniques evolved?
Well, perfect rhyme has this long history in poetry. But in rap, it's interesting to see how artists have, moved away from it at times, embracing slant rhyme, which is also known as near rhyme, to create different effects.
Oh, okay. So slant rhyme, is that more like heart and heat,
Yeah.
where there's similar but not that perfect identical sound at the end?
You got it. Exactly. And it's actually, it's not just some like modern invention either. Poets have been using slant rhyme for ages, but it took on this kind of special significance in rap, I think.
Interesting. So why do you think that shift happened? Why embrace something that, on the surface might seem less technically perfect?
Well, I think there are a few reasons. First of all, it gives rappers way more flexibility.
Yeah.
It expands their vocabulary, right? Like you can suddenly use words that you wouldn't be able to fit into a perfect rhyme scheme. Like try finding a perfect rhyme for orange.
Door hinge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really hard.
Yeah, right. So, slant rhyme just becomes this incredibly powerful tool, letting rappers incorporate those less common words without like sacrificing flow or creativity. Plus, it can create this really cool kind of nuanced and surprising listening experience.
So it's almost like, I'm gathering from this that it's not just a matter of, limitations. It's an artistic choice.
100%.
Yeah.
Like the book actually argues that in some cases, slant rhyme can be even more powerful than perfect rhyme.
Really? Wow.
Because it can add the sense of tension, maybe even making you pay closer attention to what's being said, how it's being said.
Yeah, totally. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm starting to see how this is way more than just a technical definition, right? We're talking history, artistic impact. But how about we see it in action? Like, how does this work in actual rap songs?
Yeah, great question. The book uses these awesome examples from both Nas and Tupac. Like in In Your State of Mind, Nas uses these slant rhymes with prosperous, dangerous, blaming us, and hostages.
And man, I love that song. Do you think he's doing that intentionally? Or is it just how the words kind of happen to flow together?
No, I'm pretty sure it's intentional. It's remarkable how it doesn't disrupt the flow at all. In fact, it kind of enhances it, letting him get these complex ideas across so smoothly. It's almost like you don't even notice the slant rhymes at first, but they add this subtle layer of texture to everything.
Yeah, it does make you feel like he's just saying exactly what he wants to say without limiting himself to find the quote-unquote perfect rhyme.
Right, exactly. Like complete control over his craft. He's bending the rules to fit his vision.
I love that. Okay, I am officially sold on the power of slant rhyme. What about the Tupac example?
Oh, yeah. So his verse from Changes, it's another perfect example. He uses subtle slight rhymes like ask and blast, black and snatch, Negro and hero.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you pointed out, it's so obvious. But I got to say, when I'm listening to it, it just flows so naturally. It's almost subliminal.
Totally. And those near rhymes actually add this whole other layer of depth and complexity to his words. Like every word choice feels carefully considered. Even those quote unquote near misses, if you will. It just adds to the emotional weight of what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go back and listen to some of my favorites with new ears. I feel like there's so much I've been missing.
Totally. It's like you've got this secret decoder ring for rap lyrics now. Once you understand these techniques, you can appreciate the artistry on this whole other level. It's not just about the words themselves, but how they're woven together, how they sound, the subtle effects they create.
Absolutely. So we've got perfect rhyme, slant rhyme.
Mm.
What other tools are these rappers using to, really craft their rhymes?
Yeah. So another key element is rhyme scheme. It's about the pattern of rhymes within a verse or song. Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I remember learning about that in school, like with poetry.
Yeah.
How does it work in rap, though?
So in rap, rhyme scheme plays a huge role in creating the flow and feel of a song. It can be simple, it can be super complex, but it always adds structure and rhythm to those lyrics.
Okay.
The simplest one is that, the AABB scheme where the first and second lines rhyme and the third and fourth lines rhyme.
Got it.
And the book actually uses a really great example from The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Oh, I love that song. It's so powerful. What lines do they use to illustrate that ABB scheme?
So they use these lines: rats in the front room, roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with a baseball bat.
Whoa. Yeah, now that you say it, it's so obvious. But it does create this, like, really intense driving rhythm that totally fits the message of the song.
For sure. And, that's just one example of a rhyme scheme. Like, rappers will use all sorts of different patterns to get different effects. Sometimes, they'll stick to a really simple scheme for a whole verse. Other times they'll switch it up, keep it interesting. But it's all about using these patterns to tell a story, to create a mood, to keep you, the listener, engaged.
This is honestly blowing my mind. I didn't realize how complex this all was.
Hmm.
I don't know, I thought it was about finding words that sounded alike.
It's way more than that.
Yeah.
It's a whole art form.
So we've got perfect rhyme, we've got slant rhyme, we've got rhyme scheme. Is there anything else we need to know about this whole rhyming game?
Well, the book also gets into internal rhyme, where the rhyme happens within a single line.
Oh.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember learning about that in, like, poetry class. Can you give me an example of how that works?
Yeah, for sure. So think of the line, I flipped the script, sip the liquor quick, from Exhibit C by J Electronica.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Script and sip. Yeah, okay. It just makes the whole line so much more catchy and memorable. I don't know if I would have, like, consciously noticed it, but it totally adds something.
100%. It's a subtle technique, but it can have a big impact, showing how much thought and care goes into crafting these lines. It's not just about finding words that rhyme, but where to put them, how to make them work together.
Yeah. Man, rapping might be one of the most complex forms of poetry out there.
It really might be.
Yeah.
It's this crazy mix of meaning and sound and flow all coming together over a beat.
So where do we go from here? I mean, we've talked about all these different techniques. How do they all fit together in, the bigger picture of rap as an art form?
That's a great question. It's important to remember that rhyme is, it's just one tool that a rapper uses. It's not the only thing that makes a great rap song.
Right, of course. You've got the beat, the lyrics themselves, the flow, the delivery.
Right.
It all works together.
Exactly. But understanding how rhyme works, I think, helps us appreciate all those other elements even more.
Yeah.
When you realize how much goes into those rhyme choices, it's like seeing a whole new side of the music.
It's like learning to appreciate the brushstrokes in a painting. Once you know what to look for, you just see it differently.
Exactly.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have so much more to learn and explore. But for now, I think we need to take a break and let our listeners absorb all of this amazing information. We'll be back soon to dive even deeper into the world of rhyming in rap.
Welcome back, everybody. It's really amazing how much depth there is to something we often take for granted, like rhyming in rap.
I know, right? It's like I've been listening to this music my whole life, and I've only scratched the surface of what's going on in those lyrics.
Yeah. The more you learn about the technique and history, the more you can appreciate the true artistry.
And speaking of artistry, the book we're looking at talks about how writing rap lyrics can be like this, like a poetic prison break. I thought that was a really cool way to put it. Yeah, for sure. Like you're trapped between those lines on the page, but through rhyme, you find a way to escape.
I love that imagery.
Yeah. And it even quotes Rakim, who says, I start to think, and then I sink into the paper like I was ink. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the line. I escape when I finish the rhyme. Man, he just nails it.
He really does.
It's like this intense focus almost meditative. You're just wrestling with words, searching for those perfect combinations.
Yeah, and it's not just any rhyme, right?
Right.
It's about finding the right rhyme, the one that truly unlocks the meaning and emotion of what you're trying to say.
Exactly. The rhyme has to serve the song, not the other way around.
100%.
So we've talked about perfect rhyme, slant rhyme, and rhyme scheme. Are there any other rhyming techniques that rappers use to create these poetic prison breaks?
Well, the book talks about internal rhyme, which adds a whole other layer of complexity and musicality to rap.
Oh, yeah. Internal rhyme, where the rhyme occurs within a single line of lyrics, not just at the end.
You got it.
I remember learning about that in school, but I'm having trouble picturing how it works in rap. Can you give me an example?
Yeah, for sure. Think about the line, I flipped the script, sipped the liquor quick, from Exhibit C by Jay Electronica.
Sip the liquor quick. Oh, wow, that's a great example. Yeah, okay. So script and sip. Yeah, it just gives this extra bounce to the line. You almost don't even notice it consciously, but it makes the line so much more memorable.
Exactly. It can be subtle, but it has a huge impact on how the verse flows and feels. It's like this extra layer of intentionality, showing how much thought goes into crafting those lines.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that rapping might actually be one of the most complex forms of poetry out there. It's like you got all these layers of meaning and sound working together, and it has to flow seamlessly over a beat.
It's a verbal and musical puzzle.
Totally. And the best rappers are just masters at solving it.
For sure.
So where do we go from here? We've talked about all these different rhyming techniques, but how does it all fit together?
Well, it's important to remember that rhyme is just one tool in a rapper's arsenal, you know? It's not the only thing that makes a rap song great.
Oh, of course not. Yeah. You've got the beat, the lyrics themselves, the flow, the delivery. It all has to work together.
Exactly. But understanding how rhyme works can help us appreciate all those other elements even more. When you know how much thought and care go into crafting those rhymes, you start to hear everything in a whole new light. Every rhyme scheme, every word choice is a deliberate decision.
It's like learning to appreciate the brushstrokes in a painting.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're doing here. You know, this deep dive is giving us the tools to see the art of rhyming in rap in a whole new way.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I've unlocked a whole new level of appreciation for this music.
It's really cool, and it's just the beginning, right? There's so much more to explore.
I'm ready. What else does this book have in store for us?
Well, it starts to touch on some of the more, I guess you could say, advanced rhyming techniques like multisyllabic rhymes and assonance.
Multisyllabic rhymes. Okay, that sounds really complicated.
It is. Like rappers will rhyme multiple syllables within words.
Wow.
It's really intricate, creating these interwoven patterns of sound, like taking those building blocks of perfect and slant rhyme and building something even more elaborate.
Okay, I'm following so far. And you said assonance?
Yeah, assonance.
Yeah.
And what is that again? So assonance is about repeating vowel sounds.
Right.
It's a bit more subtle than full rhyme, but it can be a really cool sonic effect. Like, think of the phrase grave danger.
Okay, yeah, grave danger.
Yeah, so the repetition of that A sound creates an echo that, adds to this sense of foreboding.
Man, my brain is starting to hurt.
It's a lot to take in.
But in a good way. This is so fascinating. It's like I'm learning a whole new language.
Yeah, the language of rap, it's all about rhythm and wordplay and sonic innovation.
Okay, so how can our listeners start to decode this language for themselves? What advice would you give?
I think the first step is to just listen more actively. Really pay attention to the rhymes, not just as words that sound alike, but as the building blocks of the song's structure and meaning. Like, notice how the different types of rhyme create different effects, how the rhyme scheme shapes the flow of the verse, how internal rhymes add those layers of complexity.
That's great advice.
It's like anything else, the more you pay attention, the more you'll see. Don't be afraid to go back and listen to your favorites with fresh ears.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that a lot now. I feel like I'm hearing these songs for the first time and appreciating them on a whole new level.
That's awesome. Knowledge really does open up new worlds.
Well, we've covered a lot today. Perfect rhyme, slant rhyme, rhyme scheme, internal rhyme. And we even touched on some more advanced techniques, like multisyllabic rhymes and assonance. I'm definitely feeling overloaded.
It's been a deep dive for sure.
Yeah, but a good one.
But I think it's important to remember that even though we've learned all these technical terms, the real beauty of rap is its ability to connect with us on an emotional level.
That's true. It's the feeling that the music evokes that really matters.
Exactly. So, as we continue to explore this world, let's not forget to keep our hearts and minds open to the power and the beauty of rap music.
It's really amazing to think about how something as, seemingly simple as rhyme can have such a big impact on music.
For sure. I mean, it just goes to show the power of language and creativity, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen how rappers can use it not just to create catchy songs, but to tell these really powerful stories, express emotions, challenge norms.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Before we started this whole deep dive, I kind of took rhyming for granted. I just thought it was like a fun sonic element, but now I realize there's so much more to it.
It's true. And this book has given us such a cool look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Like a backstage pass.
Totally. And it's actually really inspiring. I mean, it even includes exercises for aspiring rappers to develop their own rhyming skills.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Maybe we'll spark some creativity in our listeners. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe there's some future hip-hop stars listening right now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It is really captivating, the way rappers can weave words together.
Totally. And, even if you're not trying to be a rapper, I think understanding these techniques can help you appreciate the music so much more.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the difference between looking at a painting and really understanding it, like
Sure.
the brush strokes and the colors,
Right.
the composition. You see it on this whole other level.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's like we've been given this decoder ring for rap lyrics. We can appreciate the artistry behind every rhyme, every flow,
Exactly.
every word.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. Rhyme, it's more than just a sonic device.
Yeah.
It's this powerful tool for storytelling, for emotional expression, for social commentary.
Right.
It's this amazing way to connect with others, to share experiences, to make sense of the world around us.
And it's incredible to think that something so basic as words that sound alike can have such a profound impact on music and culture.
Totally. So the next time you hear a rap song that, really moves you or makes you think or gets you nodding your head,
Yeah.
take a moment to really appreciate the power of the rhyme.
Yeah.
Because behind those carefully crafted words, there's a whole world of artistry, skill, and passion just waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We hope you enjoyed exploring the world of rhyming and rap with us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And until next time, keep your ears open and your mind sharp.
Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. When we talk about rap, it's not just about the beat.
Yeah.
You got to have those lyrics, right?
Absolutely.
And so today, we are going deep
Okay.
into wordplay and metaphors,
I like it.
the stuff that makes these rap lyrics so memorable, so impactful. And we're going to be using the Rapper's Handbook for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's packed with insights.
It's really cool. It's a cool exploration of how rappers use language to create this unique experience, for the listener.
So let's start with wordplay.
Okay.
I'm sure at some point you've heard a rap lyric and you're just like, wait, what?
Absolutely.
That's wordplay at work.
Yeah. Wordplay is really about using words
Yeah.
with multiple meanings in a way that creates surprise or humor or, a sense of intellectual engagement. And the Rapper's Handbook, it defines it as when words signify two or more different things
Okay.
that make sense in the context of the line.
Gotcha. Can we get an example, though?
Absolutely.
Hear it in action?
So the handbook uses
Okay.
this lyric from Punchline,
Yeah.
which you get on, it's fam you can't trust.
Yeah.
Words and punch make rappers march like the third month.
Oh, okay. I see what he did there. He's playing on the double meaning of March.
Right.
Like walking and the month.
Exactly.
It's like a little puzzle.
Yeah.
When you solve it, it's like, that's clever.
Yeah. And that's part of the appeal, right?
Yeah.
It makes you, the listener, really an active participant
Okay.
in figuring out
Yeah.
what's the meaning
Okay.
and appreciating the rapper's skill.
So it's not just about sounding cool.
It's not just about the sound.
You're engaging the listener
Exactly.
on a deeper level.
Precisely. And the more words you know,
Uh-huh.
the more aware you are
Okay.
of their multiple meanings,
Mm-hmm.
the more you could do with wordplay.
Okay. So, how do you get there? How do you develop that?
Yeah. Well, the handbook lays out
Okay.
a 7-step process for crafting
Okay.
wordplay.
Okay.
But it's not just, here's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here's practical advice you can use.
So it's like
Yeah.
actionable steps
It is.
to try out.
Yeah. They want you to expand your vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
explore slang,
Okay.
Even experiment with idioms,
Yeah.
like those phrases that are great for
Okay, yeah.
wordplay.
So it's like a
Mhm.
workout for your brain to
Exactly.
be more aware
Yep.
of how wordplay can be used.
Right. And one of the steps is
Yeah.
look around at your environment
Yeah.
and brainstorm
Okay.
different meanings for things
Yeah.
that you see. Like, for example, they use the word bus.
Okay. A bus. I'm thinking a vehicle.
Right.
But you could also use it like
Yeah.
a nickname
Yeah.
for an athlete.
Yeah.
Or to clear the dishes, like a bus boy.
Exactly.
I never thought about it like that.
And there's slang meanings too,
Oh, right.
like bust a rhyme,
Yeah.
bust a move.
Yeah.
So many layers
Yeah.
you can uncover.
Yeah. So the handbook doesn't just tell you to do it,
Right.
but it shows you how
Yeah.
using these examples, like they brainstorm different meanings
Right.
for bus, driver, seat
Mhm.
to try and come up with wordplay.
Exactly. And even if your first attempts,
Mm-hmm.
they're not perfect,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Experimentation is key.
That's true.
Sometimes those failed attempts,
Yeah.
they can lead to better ideas
Yeah.
down the line.
That's so true. It's like anything that's creative, you have to.
You got to play. It's going to
Yeah.
make mistakes.
Yeah.
Try new things.
And one of the more humorous examples that they use is idioms.
Yeah.
They use this line from Legacy, I hold my own, like, masturbation. It's so funny. Oh, my goodness. That is hilarious.
Right. It's like he took the idiom, hold my own.
Yeah.
Like, be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And gave it this totally
Yeah.
unexpected and outrageous
Yeah.
twist.
Oh, that's so good.
Right.
So idioms can be...
Gold mine.
They are,
Right.
but they're figurative meanings. You
Yeah.
can do a lot with that.
So we've covered wordplay,
Okay.
but the Rapper's Handbook doesn't stop there.
It doesn't.
It also goes into metaphors.
And
Yeah.
like Immortal Technique said, people are tired of only hearing the tech talk with no meaning.
Mm.
Make it creative or get a therapist.
Yeah.
Metaphors add that creative element,
Okay.
that depth of meaning.
That makes rap lyrics so much more
Yeah.
than just words.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, how does the handbook define
Well, they
metaphor?
define it as a figure of speech
Mm-hmm.
in which a word or phrase
Yeah.
that usually refers to one thing
Okay.
is used to designate another,
Okay.
thus making an implicit comparison.
So it's really about
Right. It's less about
Yeah.
the technical,
Mm.
and it's more about painting that
Yeah.
vivid picture
Yeah.
in the listener's mind.
Okay. So instead of saying he's really angry,
Yeah.
you could say he's a volcano about to erupt.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Right.
that's painting a picture with those there.
Conveys the intensity
Huh.
much better
Yeah.
than a simple statement.
And the handbook uses.
Right. They have so many good examples of this.
Yeah.
One of them is from Black Thought. Like Slick Rick the Ruler, I'm cooler than an ice brick. Got sold like those Afro picks with the black fist and leave a crowd dripping like John the Baptist.
Wow. It's packed with imagery.
It is.
I can feel the coolness.
You can feel
the soul, the energy, all in those few lines.
That's the power of metaphors.
Yeah. They connect with us emotionally.
Yes.
What about Lauryn Hill? They use her as an example too, right?
They do. She has this incredible line, me without a mic is like a beat without a snare. I'm sweet like licorice, dangerous like syphilis.
Wow, that's intense.
It is.
But it really shows how those metaphors can create those contrasting emotions
Right.
in such a short space,
Yes.
like sweet and dangerous,
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Exactly.
Now, what about
Yeah.
Talib Kweli?
Yes. So he says,
Yeah.
my rhymes are like shot clocks, interstate cops, and blood clots. My point is, your flow gets stopped.
Okay, so help me break this down.
Okay.
I'm seeing the connection
Yeah.
to stopped flow, but what's...
So he's using a series of metaphors
Sure.
to emphasize
Yeah.
the power,
Mm-hmm.
the impact of his rhymes.
Okay.
Shot clocks,
Yeah.
interstate cops,
Mm-hmm.
blood clots.
Okay.
They all represent forces
Okay.
that bring things to a halt.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's this really creative
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
of saying that his rhymes are
Like they're unstoppable.
unstoppable. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's using metaphors
Yeah.
to elevate the lyrics
Right.
beyond bragging.
It's really a statement
Yeah.
about his artistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's
Yeah.
sometimes confusion about similes
Yeah.
and metaphors.
Yeah.
Can we clear that up
Absolutely.
for listeners?
So technically, a simile
Yeah.
that uses like or
Okay.
to make a comparison,
Okay.
while a metaphor doesn't.
Okay.
But in rap,
Yeah.
the line can be blurry.
Okay.
They're often used
Yeah.
interchangeably.
Like Common says
Right.
in 1999, hold the mic like a memory. And I say, I'm nice with metaphors, but these are similes.
He's totally playing with it.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
having fun with it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter
Right.
what you label it.
Yeah.
It's the impact
It's the impact.
of the language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's how these techniques
Yeah.
connect with you,
Mm-hmm.
the listener,
Yeah.
and make that lasting impression.
And it makes me think about
Okay.
Sessions line we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Puff and L and Bug. Because I won't be swatted. I can't be seen. I'll be a Dalmatian and still won't be spotted.
That's a great example.
It just combines wordplay and metaphor
Yeah.
in such a
Yeah.
a cool way.
It does. It's not just about the double meanings of bug and spotted.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the image that he's creating, right? Like he's untouchable,
Yeah.
blending in
Yeah.
like a Dalmatian
Yeah.
in a sea of spots.
It's like he's painting a picture with words, but the words have all these layers of meaning.
Exactly.
And it makes you wonder why people love listening to rap.
Absolutely. And just think about how much richer your listening experience becomes when you start to really understand these techniques.
Yeah.
It's like you're in on the secret.
Yeah.
You're deciphering the code.
That's cool. And it's not just about rap.
No.
Like you were saying before, metaphors are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're in poetry literature.
Yeah.
Even in our
everyday conversations.
Yeah.
Once you start paying attention,
Yeah.
you're going to see it everywhere.
They're popping up everywhere. It's like this whole new way of looking at the world.
Okay, so before we get too carried away with metaphors,
Right.
let's go back to wordplay for a sec.
Okay.
What are some other...
Okay, so one that's really popular is homophones.
Okay.
Remember those? Words that sound alike
Oh, yeah.
but have different meanings? Like here and here.
I remember those from grade school.
Exactly.
But I never thought
Yeah.
about those being used in rap.
Rappers love to use homophones
Okay.
to create double meanings and unexpected twists
Okay.
in their lyrics.
Okay.
So, think about a line like, I'm here to drop some knowledge, so lend me your ears. Oh, okay, so it's playing on here and here.
Exactly.
Yeah, to emphasize listening.
You importance of listening.
Yeah, so subtle,
Mm-hmm.
but
effective.
yeah.
Because it makes you, the listener,
Yeah.
pay closer attention.
Okay.
And then there's the pun.
Oh, the pun.
That classic play on words.
Yeah, the pun.
I mean, sometimes so cheesy.
I know.
But you gotta laugh.
Sometimes they're so bad, they're good.
Right.
Yeah.
But do rappers actually use puns?
They do.
They do.
Believe it or not.
Yeah?
Puns can be very effective in rap.
Okay.
They add humor.
Yeah.
They create a sense of playfulness.
Yeah.
Even challenge the listener
Okay.
to think outside the box.
Okay. Can we hear?
Like, think about the line, I'm so fly, I need a runway to land my rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's playing on fly,
like
both style and airborne.
right.
Yeah.
So puns can make those lyrics
You can make those lyrics
more engaging.
more engaging.
Memorable.
Exactly, more memorable. It's like this inside joke between the rapper and the listener.
Yeah.
Right.
And that shared understanding is what makes it.
That's what makes it so effective.
Yeah.
You create a connection,
Uh-huh.
a sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes rap so appealing.
Okay.
It's a form of communication
Yeah.
that's clever
Yeah.
and relatable.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, as we're exploring all these techniques, makes you realize that rap is so much more than just rhyming words.
It's a true art form.
It's a true art form.
Yeah.
And what we're discussing today, wordplay and metaphors, they're the tools that kind of elevate rap.
They do. They allow rappers to express complex ideas, tell stories,
Yeah.
and connect with listeners in a way that few other genres can.
I think you're right. When you really start to pay attention to those lyrics, we see the depth, the creativity.
That this whole other world opens up.
And it's fascinating how these techniques, especially metaphors, tap into something fundamental about the way we think as humans.
Like we're constantly making connections, finding patterns, using metaphors to understand the world.
That's a great point. Like we're wired for this wordplay and these metaphors.
Rap just takes it to another level.
Think about how rappers use metaphors to bridge seemingly unrelated concepts.
Yeah, like you said before, life in the inner city to a boxing match.
Or a chess game.
Yeah, a chess game. You know? Finding those...
Yeah, it's those unexpected connections.
Yeah, that make you think, wow, I never thought of it.
Never thought of it like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is how these metaphors come from the rapper's own lived experiences.
Right. And that's what the handbook really emphasizes.
Yeah.
How that creates a sense of authenticity and emotional resonance.
Right.
It's not just being clever for the sake of being clever.
Right.
You know, it's about expressing something real.
Like they're giving you a glimpse into their world, their struggles, their triumphs through these creative comparisons. And it's that honesty that often connects with listeners on such a deep level.
Yeah, it's like a form of storytelling.
It is.
Using the wordplay and the metaphors to paint these pictures.
You're not just listening to the words.
Yeah.
You're experiencing them.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is how these techniques can be used to both entertain and educate.
To make you laugh and think at the same time. It's
a delicate balance.
Yeah.
But the best rappers, they've mastered it.
It's like their secret weapon.
It is.
That they wield to disarm, to enlighten.
To connect.
Yeah. To connect with their audience.
And that connection is what makes rap such a vital and enduring art form. Yeah. It's constantly evolving.
It is.
Yeah.
It's constantly pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
But at its core, it's about communication, expression, connection.
Wow. I feel like we could talk about this all day.
I know, right?
But as we're wrapping up our deep dive here, I can't help but just feel a whole new appreciation for like the lyrical genius of these rappers.
Like you're hearing the music.
Yeah. With like fresh ears.
Fresh ears.
Yeah.
And picking up on those things you might have missed before.
That's exactly it. It's like we've unlocked a secret code.
Yeah, you're seeing the artistry
and
intention behind it all.
Yeah, and that's what I hope our listeners take away from this, is that we've just scratched the surface here.
It's a vast world. Yeah, it is. But hopefully we've given you the tools and the inspiration to keep exploring.
So next time you hear a rap song, don't just let those words wash over you.
No, listen closely.
Yeah.
Analyze, unpack those metaphors, decode the wordplay. You might be surprised by what you find.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be inspired to create your own.
Your own lyrical masterpiece.
Lyrical masterpiece.
Yeah.
But even if you don't become the next rap superstar, just having that deeper understanding of the language.
Yeah, it'll enhance your listening experience.
For sure, for sure.
Tenfold.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
On this deep dive into wordplay and metaphors.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. Until next time, keep those ears open and those minds sharp.
Absolutely.